Hey everyone, it's another day, another batch of bread. So I wanted to just film with you today and share how I make my delicious unleavened bread for the Daniel fast. So let's get started. Okay, if you watched my other video of how to make the Daniel fast bread, I already kind of walked you through a step-by-step tutorial. I'm just gonna put the camera on and show you how I do this really quickly. Okay, so I like to make a bread mix. This is just whole wheat flour, salt, and olive oil mixed into a bag. I make a bunch of these, like I take a 25-pound bag of organic whole wheat flour and then I break it up into bread mixes. This way I only have to batch prep that maybe once every 2 months. And when I'm ready to make bread, all I have to do is grab one of these bags, take out my food processor, and simply dump this bread into the food processor like this. Okay, I want to show you just how simple and quick it is to make this bread. So, let's see how fast I can do it today. All right, I'm just going to get some water into my water pitcher. Okay, I've got 1 3/4 cup of water, and I already started preheating my oven to 450 degrees, and I have baking sheets over here, so I'll show you that next. But I've got my bread mix in the food processor. I'm just going to turn this on after I add some garlic powder. You can add whatever herbs or flavorings that you want. I like to just add some garlic powder or fresh garlic, which I don't have any right now, so that's why I like to use the garlic powder, because sometimes I don't have it. This is just some Italian seasoning herbs. This is just a nice combination of herbs that I think tastes really good in the bread. Okay, so let's just pulse that real quick to mix it around. Okay. Now, while that's going, I'm going to add my water. Okay, I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute, and it's going to knead the dough in the food processor for 1 minute. For this part. Hold on tight. Okay. That was about 1 minute in the food processor. So the blade in the food processor is actually going to help cut up some of the whole grain fiber that's still on the kernels of the wheat flour in here. A lot of times people don't want to use whole wheat flour because it's just really kind of a tougher texture than white flour. White flour is just whole the wheat kernel with the outside removed, and then it's just the inside kernel for the white flour. But I like to use whole grain flour because you're still getting all the nutrition that's in the outside of the kernel. But that is the tougher part. So if you use a food processor, it has a blade in here, and that blade actually kind of cuts up that kernel even more, so it makes a really nice tender dough. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off, set this aside for a second. I'm going to get 3 baking sheets. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil, grease my sheets. Then with clean hands, I'm just going to disperse the oil. Okay, Okay, I'm going to get my dough. If I can. Okay, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put it onto a cutting board. Take the dough, form it into like a little loaf, like this. Then I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces. Okay, 1, 2, 3 pieces here. 1, 2, 3. All right, it's been 6 minutes since I started this timer. So all I'm going to do is take these dough balls, get a little olive oil on my hands again, take the dough. You can flatten these as thin as you want. I like them pretty thin, but some people like them thicker. I'm just going to take it, smear it onto the baking sheet, and that's it. And then my oven is still preheating to 450 degrees. I also like to take the dough, flip it over so that it gets coated in that olive oil that's on the pan. Okay, 7 minutes since I started making this bread, and we're already almost putting all the dough onto the pan. This is just the quickest way to make bread. Okay, and then that's what it looks like once I've smeared the dough onto the baking sheet. Now at this point you can put sliced onions, you can put seasonings, you can put salt, you can put any type of topping that you want to on the bread. Now when my oven is done preheating, I'm just going to put these in there for 11 minutes. They're going to bake up really nicely. I'm going to take them out, put them on a cooling rack, and then store these in a Ziploc bag or an airtight container in the refrigerator for at least 3 to 4 days, sometimes up to 1 week. And when I'm ready to serve them, I like to just pop them into my air fryer for like 2 minutes to make them nice and warm. And then that kind of makes them a little more tender again. But these breads are great for meal prep. They're perfect for the Daniel fast because they don't have any leavening in them. There's no yeast, no baking powder, no baking soda. It's just flour, olive oil, salt, and water, and then any other seasonings that you want to add. All right, so thanks for making the dough with me. I will show you what these look like when they come out of the oven. Okay, the oven is finished preheating to 450 degrees, so I put my 3 baking sheets with my bread in there, and they're ready to bake for 11 minutes. Okay, so the breads were finished baking. I removed them from the baking sheets and I put them onto these cooling racks here just to cool down for a few minutes. Once they're cool, I'm just going to transfer them over here to the cutting board. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to transfer all of the cooked bread into this Pyrex container. This will be where I store the breads for the week. All I have to do is put them in here, put them with the lid on, and then put them into the refrigerator. And I like this one because once I have all the bread in here, I can see the bread inside of the refrigerator. I can see how many pieces I have left. So I do this meal prep about twice a week for my family. Just depends on how many people you're feeding. But these breads are super hearty. They're really delicious, especially if you put sliced onions on top and herbs. For this batch, I just made them plain, just to show you how quickly that you can prepare them. But I like to serve these with hummus. I also make them as pizza crusts and then put sauce on top, and that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to share the link to this recipe in the description below, and also the free 7-day Daniel Fast meal plan. Have a great day. Bye.